happy day. So I was chatting to a friend recently, and she commented on my the cards that I had posted on Instagram, and she said she was looking forward to hearing what the current energy reading was or is. So the zeitgeist. So that's what we're going to do now. As we go live reading, and a couple of comments before we start. It's important to know that we've just had a full moon, and there was an eclipse, a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which is about transformations, and also Mercury is in retrograde, meaning communications may be befuddled, and our plans may also not go according to the way we wish them to. It seems like we are walking or trying to function in quicksand, so don't expect anything to happen fluidly, easily, and without hiccups and hurdles. And then we're coming to the end of Taurus season, so the end of an earth element where we've been trying to ground ourselves a bit more, stabilize our lives, perhaps make them a little more comfortable, luxurious. We will then be moving, I believe, into Gemini season, which is the first of the air signs. So that's where things become a little more mental and a little more electric. So with that in mind, let's get cracking. So normally I have time to contemplate and ponder the reading, but because we're doing this live, there may be less information because I'm just channeling whatever's coming through. So one of the approaches I thought we'd do today is of the three piles: the past, the present, and the looking forward. First we'll look at each card in isolation, and then we'll look at all three cards in relation to each other. So always I do 3 shuffles. I love the number 3. Body, mind, spirit, head, heart, gut. Birth, death, rebirth, which is very Scorpion and Scorpio energy. It's about the phoenix is one of its symbols, rising from the ashes. And the other thing I thought with these readings, I've always tried to actually do them in such a way that perhaps you are learning about tarot as you go. So you'll hear I mention the major arcanas. They refer to the big things, and then I'll tell you what the suits mean. So I'll keep trying to do that so you can start to learn a little more if this is an art and a craft that you would like to develop, not only for yourself but to help guide others. So 3 shuffles, 3 piles. Let's look at the first card. Oof. Okay, so the King of Swords in the past position talks to us. You can see there's the butterfly, so there's the transformation, and it's like, so it actually came up in the present position about 3 weeks ago, and I did my own reading over the lunar eclipse weekend, and every single card that came up was a sword, which is the mental aspects of our being. There are our thoughts and our thought processes and our perceptions and our attitudes. So I like that it went from the present position a few weeks ago, and in my reading this past week, this was the central position. So the current energies was where we were in very mental space. We were cutting through the truths. We were trying to find clarity, perhaps facing our own truths again, that becoming aware of limerence, so making a fantasy out of our supposed reality rather than seeing it for what it is. We can do the same for ourselves. We can perhaps overestimate our own self-value, and that will lead to pride knocking us down. So it shows that we went from being in this, being in this position will lead us to the next card. It is an air sign card, so it would be the most mature air sign, which would be Aquarius and Aquarian energies. It's about seeing and being the light for others and for oneself, seeing the truth, facing the truth, ownership of the self, self-responsibility. In past position, let's see, present position. Ooh, beautiful card to get. The Magician, Major Arcana. As you see, it's number 1. It's the first Major Arcana. It would be the start. So the first card is 0. It's the Fool. And 0 is the nowhere point that we start from, the all that is. And 1 would be the seed of pure potentiality. That is where you are the magician, the alchemist, the pharmacist of your life, where you use all the tools and resources. You see, you've got a pentacle, which is tangible assets, money, also liabilities. You have a cup. That is the things that fill our hearts, our emotions, our feelings. We have a sword, so we are able to see the truth, see things clearly, cut through the bullshit. And then there's the wand right in the front here, and we have a wand, and we know every magician needs a wand for abracadabraing magic. So the attitude with this central card is, if you were able, I'm sorry, I know I said I do them individually, but since they are related, if you were able to face the truths of yourself, where you are not in integrity with yourself and your true self, the desires of who you wish you want to be, whether it's a slimmer you, a wiser you, a more experienced you, a more relaxed you, a you that is more loving, whatever aspect of your being that you are aware of, that you are operating from a lesser, a more primal state, rather than a more godlike, Christ-like, Christos consciousness of love and light, tolerance, acceptance. Overall, it's about compassion. So notice, I'm seeing it as I'm looking here, both of these fellows are holding a sword, like a thing that cuts through in their left hand, which is the side of the heart. I love also how, if you have a look about at the infinity symbol above the alchemist head, notice above the King of Swords, the butterfly, the symbols are quite similar. So the alchemist, if we can start where we are with what we have here now, with all our skills, tools and resources, we can magic our desired outcome and result. So this is a really magnificent card to get in the current energies. It tells you that it doesn't matter how small you feel, how little confidence you have, how insecure you feel about the changes and shifts that are happening in your life. I know that for some, you are aware already of the big changes. Some of you are moving places, and in fact, there's a lot of that going on. People moving from one place to another, so big continental shifts, and there is that rational fear of moving forward. But remember, the medicine is in the dosage, so stress is the same, in that a little bit of stress is very good. It's motivating, it gets the wheels turning, it fires us up to want to undertake our goals and achieve the end results. But too much can be debilitating, and so it's about finding the balance and how to use all your tools and resources. And remember, currency is not just money. Currency is actually a secondary or tertiary currency. Your primary currencies are your time and your energy and your space. And how are you using all those tools and resources? There's a lot of red and yellow in this card. Yellow is about confidence. It's really about the solar plexus chakra. I was talking to someone last week about that, about if you're feeling your self-esteem is feeling low, or your confidence is low, or your self-belief, then what you do is you imagine that the sun is radiating from this center of your being, and it would almost be a blinding light to others. And the terminology of baffle them with bullshit or dazzle them with brilliance comes to mind. It's a term I used to use with Gabrielle growing up quite a lot, to try and give her confidence, Gabrielle being my daughter. And I feel like that it's more about the focus on the second part, in that we're no longer able to baffle people with their bullshit or with our bullshit. And in the same way, we're no longer able to absorb and digest other people's bullshit. And there's a lot of about projection going on currently. You will notice, especially patriarchal pushback, because things are changing. There's a new paradigm, and the old Saturn patriarch, father of time, structure, order, is really pushing back. They're not liking what they're seeing with how much they've gotten away with for so long, and it's uncomfortable to now shift and change one's viewpoints. And I had someone say to me, a young woman, I'm noticing how many strong, beautiful young women there are who absolutely are calling the patriarchy out on their bullshit. And one of my young friends said to me recently that she said to her father, because he's very angry about how his daughters are behaving, and it doesn't make him comfortable. It's perfectly fine in the world as it is today, but for him it doesn't fit his reality. So in the greater scheme of things, he is the odd one out. And my friend said to him, I would lovingly like to take you by the hand and guide you through this new paradigm, in that sexism, racism is no longer acceptable. We no longer are allowed to belittle women, and it's done so casually and so arbitrarily that people don't even know they're doing it, particularly the patriarchy. And so the feminine, especially the young feminine, is calling bullshit on that. So it's about confidence. And the red is about grounded. What are you grounded in? What are your values, your morals? And you don't really have to be answerable to anyone other than yourself. And your job is to live in highest integrity, first to yourself, and through that, naturally, you will operate in an honorable way with others, meaning you keep your word, you make commitments in a very serious way, in that you keep your word. Your word is your promise, and you follow through with the deed. So yeah, enough about that. Perhaps let's see. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I couldn't have asked to pick better cards for a live reading, to inspire, empower, and encourage, and let you know that all will be well. So it's kind of like the giveaway, trigger warning, everything's going to be okay. Ace of Cups. Cups is our feelings, our heart's desires. It's about fulfillment, contentment. There is your dove of peace. So it's serenity, it's calm, it's the sense of being got by everything, feeling divinely protected and guided. Look, your cup overflows. You are so fulfilled and so content and so in love with yourself and your life that naturally exudes and emanates to others. And do you know that the more of us who do this and are able to be in this state, the more it impacts the collective. So you in yourself don't matter to the greater whole. You are nothing in the greater whole, just a mere grain of sand on the beach. However, you are another grain of sand on the beach that is beautiful and unique, and you happen to exist and be there. You are already part of the whole. So your only job is to be the best of your best, and if only for yourself. And again, do not absorb other people's projections. You are not what other people think of you. You are who you decide to be. You are who you want to be. And it's really easy when you're doing it in the highest good, because it seems like there is this angelic blessing of guidance and protection and support when you actually allow yourself to be that beautiful, loving, kind, compassionate. That infinite flow definitely feeds back. It doesn't always feel like it, but being the better person. Can you imagine a world where we were all more light, love, and positive? Wouldn't that just be a whole lot better than the negativity, the stress, the pressures of having to conform and give up our uniqueness just to be more of the orb and the average? So there is your lake of tranquility. Ace, you're number one. Live from your heart, people. Live from your heart. It's really important. And I see this is already getting on to 17 minutes. So this card came up a couple of weeks back, and I haven't been able to put it away because it does feel like we've been going through this portal. It's come up over and over, this gateway. And I've been saying, in order to for this Ace of Love, let your cup runneth over. Love is kind, love is patient. We know that from the scriptures. The scriptures are there to guide us, whether you are Christian or not. Any scripture is valuable. In essence, they all repeat the same story and the same theme, which we need to grasp onto, and that is be your best higher being. Give more, expect less. Give more, don't ask for anything unless, generally you shouldn't need to ask for anything, because you already have everything you want, and everything you need you are able to manifest. You can do that through asking, but generally it comes to you naturally. So if you're having to ask, it means that you're often in a resistant place. So we had that eclipse of the moon recently and a full moon, so I love that. I'd like to read to you. So I'm seeing black tourmaline, and then you've got selenite there. Very grounding. We can see it's about being grounded, and then pillars of light. So your job is to be that pillar of light. And how do you do that? And I did say to you about this Gemini energy, and this selenite is a wind element, so it does fit in with the transformations of, again, this mental but more electrical. So we should be less in a depressive state and a morbid state, and more in uplifted, enlightened state. We will feel those energies changing. I think we've already been through that crunch birth point, that breaking through the cocoon. We're able to now become the butterfly. We've been through the fire and are able to now rise as the phoenix. So selenite, higher self. Selenite is the most beautiful of the gypsum family of minerals. It forms in clear wand shapes with striated sides and occasional water inclusions. Selenite's crystalline structure allows it to move energy easily throughout its form. Its energy is clear, high, and sweet, evoking aspects of both the air and water elements, so the beginning and the end. And we magic it in between. We magic how air and water, all the elements, come together and fit together. Selenite aids in moving energy throughout the water and fluids of our bodies, encouraging the health and enlightenment of each of our cells. And we can do this through breathing. You can breathe in light into every single one of your cells. And don't knock it until you've tried it. It can be quite transformational in itself. If that's all you do is breathe better and breathe using light as a way to lighten your body. Also, what you eat, how much you eat, what you eat, when you eat, water, exercise. These are all tools that you can use. Rest are all tools that you can use to also lighten yourself. Inner enlightenment or entertainment for enlightenment. Selenite energies allow us to experience the incredible energy of an activated physical vehicle. That's exactly what I'm saying. You have to lighten your, it's like at home. It's like your body is the same as your home, and being a hoarder, just shoveling in toxic stuff. Cupboards are full of stuff. Wardrobes are full. Every cupboard is full. There's stuff you need to get rid of. It's flowing out of everywhere. Old stuff, broken stuff. So it's a form of decluttering. And with Taurus in our north node currently of the moon aspect, it is about becoming aware of your physicality and your physical vehicle as your earth home. It's your true home. Your house is merely your shelter. This is your first and foremost shelter. It is what encages your organs and your anatomy in order to guard into the external environment and function. So your primary objective should be to be protecting this right here. Again, breath, diet, hydration, movement, and rest. And those are all things I address in wellness. So I just love this. It's so beautiful. When all the separate elements of consciousness in our bodies are activated, we are able to allow our highest vision to enter our physical world. That's basically just the art of manifestation. This is the goal of being physical, to bring our highest consciousness into the physical realm and use it to create an enlightened reality. Exactly what I've been saying. Bringing all humanity into resonance, first with the earth and then with the universe. So really we're doing a pretty shoddy job of the guardians of this planet. If we look at how we contribute to, and yes, each of us is responsible for all the pollution that is through our consumer power, how we choose to spend our money, what we choose to have in our lives. And so really, yes, you are. I hold you personally responsible and myself for the state of the planet today. What am I doing? What are you doing to actually make a viable difference? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The air you breathe is foul. The water you drink is foul. The food you eat is not nutritious. You don't move enough. You spend too much screen time, and it's a form of societal manipulation. So you are being externally mentally manipulated, and you still believe you're in control. Bullshit. Calling bullshit. Please wake up. Please pay attention. Your higher being does not need to smell better, to have fancier creams, to have more stuff. Your higher being needs less. It needs better water. It needs better nutrition. You need to move in ways that are good for you, not stressful, not because you need to appear a certain way in the world, but because it makes you feel good, because it makes you feel more relaxed, because it makes you feel connected to your higher self. That's the purpose of all these things that you do. Not to appear anyway, but to be in integrity with who you are. Selenite is a doorway through which the vibration of our higher self can enter into consciousness and physical realms, physical systems. The higher self is the aspect of ourselves that is aware of the totality of our being able to work on each aspect and then to get, it's like the different chakras, working on each chakra individually, and then each one, once it's in harmony, starts to flow as a part of a greater whole. And so the whole is greater. It exists outside of our physical reality, between our mind and our soul. When we are connected to our higher self, our physical body and physical manifestations become direct conscious tools for divine expression in our lives. We are coming to a point in our experience at which we must return to a state of interconnection and connection to the divine force and will of the universe. Without this connection, we cannot attain our fullest development. It would be like instead of progressing past kindergarten or primary school, we really need to, same as our stages of education, so too are we going through stages of development of the self, and we have to go through each of those stages. We learn to hold our head ups when we're lying on our bellies. We learn to then crawl, we then start walking, we then start running, we then start jumping over hurdles. So there is a natural progression of things, and your soul is the same thing. It's been schooled in life, and we're here in this physical plane to have a physical, real experience. And suffering is mental, because this is really a Garden of Eden, and you are Adam or Eve, and you're really here for a conscious pleasure ride. And it does seem we are being caught up in devilish acts of another sort, and our job is to become aware of that and really transform it and not be apathetic. And you will see devilish entities around you. And I've always said, one of my adages is, never become a fucker in the face of fuckery. Really, you must rise above that. It's really important. It's, if you believe in the second coming, I don't. But if you do, then I would think that that would be your motivation. In fact, when it comes to Christianity, I would expect that there's a lot more motivation, which I'm not really seeing, and I'd love to see. That's, I think, why there tends to be this shift currently towards more right-wing ways of being. People are looking, when things feel too fucked up, we need stability. And again, it's that Taurus in the North Node being Dharma. What we're looking to create in the future. So sometimes when things have gone too left, we have to, it's like the dog, the feral dog, we have to start. In fact, I've got a friend who's training her dog, beautiful hound, just very excitable, and it's a bit likes to let its wild side out a bit, and she's loving and doesn't want to harm or hurt her dog. But she learned in dog training recently that to stop a dog from jumping up, you really do have to put a choke hold on it, and really 3 tugs to say, no, don't do that. The dog is already not jumping up. So it's that kind of thing. We have to learn to tame our feral dog. In fact, this card now reminds me of the Major Arcana, the Moon card. Similar thing with that. It's the same picture of 2 towers, and then a feral dog or a wolf on one side, and a beautiful domestic dog on the other, with a pathway leading towards the full moon in the distance. So it really resonates with that, the moon. And again, we had that solar eclipse where where things should come to light, the unknown, unseen, things you haven't perceived of, new facets of your perception will be coming to light. You will start to see things differently if you haven't already. Selenite has come to aid us in achieving this end by bringing the light of spirit into this plane of existence. And that's what people have been talking about, this awakening and ascension process. What it means is that more and more people will start to operate from a more Christ, godlike consciousness, less from a fuckery place, and more from a higher state of being. So the message, Selenite is speaking to you of your responsibility to your purpose. It is time for you to take your responsibility and apply it to the new awareness that you are beginning to embody. That is the transformation. Selenite, above all other allies, creates resonance in our energy and body that initiates in us a time of renewed connection to the divine. Through your creations, body, speech, and emotions, Selenite will aid you in expressing the divine in each moment. Selenite may also be signaling a period of renewed connection to your higher self, the ability to move the energy of the divine through the vehicle of your physical body is an important part of being physical. Selenite is alerting you that it is time to begin developing the physical vehicle you inhabit, so that it can carry even higher frequencies of energy into the earth plane. You may need to change your diet, exercise habits, or other lifestyle choices which may be affecting your ability to carry high frequency energy through your physical being. Pay attention to the signals that you receive from your higher self. They will lead you to changes that are most beneficial to you at this time. So it's the chakras it affects are the higher. So anything that links you to the higher source or source, the cosmos, God, universe, whatever you call it, it's that. It's that God spark within every cell of your body and being. Your job is to go around and start lighting all the candles of every single cell in your body. Get rid of the dead ones, the toxic ones. We can do liver support. There's a lot of purging going on. I certainly have been purging physically and making small changes towards better habits, which I find the easiest thing to do. Just choose one thing, like today, drink more water, or tomorrow it would be have a fruit smoothie day, just have a plant-based living food diet for one day. Just everything one, make it small, make it easy, make it bite-sized. How to eat an elephant, it's digestible then. So the affirmation: I am a reflection on earth of the divine spirit in heaven. I am a reflection on earth of the divine spirit in heaven. I am a reflection on earth of the divine spirit in heaven. With that very long current energies reading, namaste, in Lakesh, light and love.